back to the Sahara Desert.
Go home.
I think the interesting thing is
no fracking. No fracking. No fracking. No fracking. No fracking. No fracking. No fracking.
You're getting paid an awful lot for this.
Minimum wage.
Well, them will be on minimum wage. I bet they're not on minimum wage. He's not on minimum wage.
No fracking.
Oh no.
No fracking.
No, he's on a lot more than minimum wage. Okay, and he's gonna have to live with this for the rest of his life.
Oh, no,
Oh yeah, no, he is.
No fracking.
Every individual one will have to live with this. Okay? I hope you're proud of yourself.
Got kids at home, have you? Would you like them all with leukemia and nosebleeds and headaches? Is that what you want for your children? Nosebleeds and headaches and rashes and puking? That's what our children will be getting. That's what we'll get for our kids. Is that what you want for your kids?
there's a man who's beginning to shake. He says nothing at all.
Sorry.
Well, Cheshire, they'll be walking away, Cheshire.
Representatives from the two political parties that are here today to come forward and speak. At this stage, Martin, you've been nominated by Sinn Féin to speak, so if you want to come forward.
Fellow people of this area, it is a great privilege to stand and see such a large crowd here this evening. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Martin McGovern, a Sinn Féin councillor. I was co-opted onto Frankie Rice's seat back in March. Now, the one thing The one thing
Sinn Féin could have stopped this at Stormont.
Sinn Féin, I can tell you, the All-Ireland Party will stop it north and south, because our minister, Michelle O'Neill, was the first to say that they would not get in on forestry land. So if this was a piece of forestry land, these guys would not be here. So Sinn Féin stands face to face and side by side with the people. And it's not just the health concerns, the tourism and the farming. I've lived for 46 years in this area. I know the area, I know its people. Some of the people I've been delighted to see here that I worked among 20 and 30 years ago in Belcoo. And I, for one, and you, I know, will not believe in the lies of Tamboran. I will believe what the indigenous people of this area tell me, the people that have protected this landscape for generation after generation. And I've had and can I say, two thoughts struck me as I came here this evening. Number one, the large and great crowd there is, the positive. Number two, the negative start that these people have made, the provocation and the intimidation that is here just by the artefacts and the dogs and these very handsome looking guys that stand behind us. But we, the people of this area, we must stand, but we must stand peacefully. We must not take the focus away from these people. These are the aggressors. You are the local people. You are the people that have lived in this area. It's your children and your children's children who will suffer if this goes ahead. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll hand you back to Donald O'Coffey here. Thank you very much.
Brendan Gallagher now from the SDLP. Are you happy to come forward, Brendan? Or? Yeah.
Good evening to you all. If any of you don't know me, I'm Brendan Gallagher, I'm local SDLP councillor. This evening's crowd is just a great statement of intent of the opposition that all right across the county represent. Nobody wants to see fracking coming here. This here is just the security that they've had to enforce here this evening's testament to the actual opposition to fracking itself. We don't want to see it coming. It's treacherous for our agriculture industry, tourism industry, fisheries, and certainly from my point of view, from our party's point of view, we'll continue to oppose fracking, and as our minister has said, until it can be proved to be safe, it's not going to go ahead.
Distinguished politicians, or Tom, you want to get up and say a few words or whatever?
I'd like to ask some of the government ministers. I have sent in quite a number of freedom of information requests and quite a lot of correspondence, but there has been no consultation, and there certainly is no consent with the local people for this project. Yay! And without consent, they are bringing the project in and attempting to divide the community. And that is the saddest fact. We are already a divided society in Northern Ireland, and they are attempting to divide us again.
Divide and conquer.
The downtown council and Donegal County Council were back last year, putting into that there be no fracking in the area. We're certainly in Sinn Féin, we're opposed to fracking, make no mistake about it. And there's nothing more that we'd like that we would get split. We're all over front on this, there's no question about it. We're not going to allow fracking in Fermanagh, we're not going to allow fracking in Donegal, we're not going to allow fracking in this country. And it's very, very sad to say that we have sort of a non-cash here already, and these men standing here in yellow jackets like, that's what Tamboran already doing.
We go back home, you've destroyed parts of Canada, you've destroyed parts of Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania in America. You're not going to destroy Fermanagh, Leitrim or Donegal. without you. We do want you. We do want you destroying our environment. We'll not let it happen. But I would have said to you very clearly, let us stay united on this. Don't bring politics into it, because that's what they would like. We're united on this to save our country, to save our river. Organise, talk about it, write letters to the press. Let us organise ourselves and let us go forward, and there'll be no fracking. Thank you very much.
I represent myself and I represent the people of Ireland. I don't know if I need a microphone. Can you hear me out?
We can hear you, mate.
Hang on to that, so.
No, use the microphone.
I hate microphones. This piece has gone viral in the last few weeks. I wrote it a couple of months ago. It's called "Was It For This?" And it's about this island, and it's just fucking great to see such a turnout. Sorry, kids. Such a turnout here in their numbers to protest against these scumbags. It's really great. Was it for this the pagans strove with woven baskets born of love to worship at the altar of the harvest god come dove? As the sun rose up the reek and then set down the other side to summon pilgrims to its peak to come from far and wide, before the Christians came to Ireland and proceeded to rename it. Croagh Patrick, as it stands today, will proudly they proclaim it as a place of modern pilgrimage and not the site of ancient heritage that history forgot. Was it for this the Druids stood before the old gods of the trees and founded schools within their groves to learn the mysteries that lay buried in the branches and encoded in the leaves as the language of the earth written there for all to see? Was this why they came between the people and the great divine and shed the blood of mortal flesh to prophesy through time? Was this the future they once saw? Was it this they had in mind when they foretold in days of old what's born can never die? Was it for the famine, for the Irish Holocaust that was rarely thus examined, but in truth the human cost was inflicted on this island by the British, and yet peace is supposed to be some pure and noble diplomatic feat? Will it? It's supposed to be some pure and noble diplomatic feat, but Mandela fought for what is right and was called a terrorist by the same people who in death have claimed his right to coexist. Was never left in any doubt nor disputed in the slightest, cause the darkest stars that ever were in death will shine the brightest. Was it for this? Shit, hang on. Was it for the only empire in Rome that still exists to confiscate our island, though some would still insist that we were never conquered, but somehow we escaped in spite of all the plundered land and the children that were raped? Was it the rules they set in schools and claimed they set in stone that have rendered us like lambs to collapse if left alone, that now bring us back in droves to a church that we've outgrown but are scared to leave or to believe we're better on our own? Was it for Biffo, citing Lisbon as the only show in town, inviting Europeans to kick us while we're down, inciting fear amongst the people in need of some release from the systematic slaughter of a nation's self-belief? Was it for drum and bow and Anglo-picking figures from their arse, singing Nazi anthems to elucidate the farce of both the major parties, Fianna Gael and Fianna Fáil, for pretending key decisions are still made within the Dáil? Was it for this some keepers of the peace have forgotten the translation of An Garda Síochána, or was it infiltration that has set the force upon the course of corporate racketeering at the expense of innocence for private profiteering? Well, the greatest crime there's ever been on this island is ongoing, as the IMF still strip us clean and bare despite our knowing. Yet their crimes are somehow normalised and accepted as deserved by the dogs within our government and the masters that they serve. Was it for this the US flights of extraordinary rendition are stopping off at Shannon on the way to their perdition, as if it's nothing more than a casual decision to be complicit in the torturing of innocent civilians? But instead of pushing peace, we imprison the protesters and determine their release at the whim of the investors who have bought and sold this island for the promises of oil. In pipes they plan on laying off what once was farming soil. But the cows are gone, and the people are gone, and the farms are left to fail. Now they probe the seas for oil and gas, the lakes and land for shale. Well, the sycophants and the psychopaths clap backs within the pale, with an onus on the bonus for the speedy fire sale of our water and electric that could both be ours for free, with a slight recalculation of our own priorities. If instead of paying billions for a debt we never owed, we invested in renewables and let the future flow. Was it for the lattes? Yes. With ciabattas and ghost cheese? Or the double mocha frappes, sculpted quiffs and skinny jeans? For the oh my gods, the fuck my lives, the you don't understand, the like you knows, the BFFs, the let's make dinner plans? Was it really for the hipsters? Or are they just a fucking glitch in the evolutionary motherboard and momentary twitch that normally exists in every generation but is usually ignored by righteous indignation? Was it for this? The proclamation was read out upon the steps. For this fire defamation that bellend Bertie left, to cast shadows over bullet holes and pillars that remain, standing by the GPO where the volunteers were slain. For this the Fianna marched across the mountains and the bogs. For this we killed each other for the right to label gods. For this we raise our children just to watch them up and leave as another generation educated and deceived. Or was it for the moment where you finally realise that all that really matters is what's right before your eyes? The simple understanding that come whatever else, you'll never know another as you learn to know yourself. And even though we come to love with everything we are, the truth is, every one of us has once been battle scarred. And the purest love that still remains is written in that kiss before we fall asleep at night that says, it was for this.
Well done.
Follow that, don't you?
You want to say something, Sean?
For Ireland, here my heart lies. There's tears in my eyes for Ireland. I'll get there in a minute, right?
Do you want a guitar?
Yeah. Well, I'll sing away anyway, but right. It goes like this. When I was a young lad, I dreamed of this land. Now I am older, I understand. My love will not die for Ireland. Here my heart lies. There's tears in my eyes for Ireland. Right, thank you. I saw her in visions. She haunted my dreams. Her valleys and rivers, her oceans and streams. My love will not die for Ireland. Oh, here my heart lies. There's tears in my eyes for Ireland. The voice of my father, like an echo in time. And as I grow older, his songs will be mine. My love will not die for Ireland. Oh, hear my heart lies. There's tears in my eyes for Ireland. Right. Are we getting it? Are we getting it? No one's going anywhere for a while, are we? Anyway, so might as well finish what I started. Right. I was a young lad, dreamed of this land. Now I am older, I understand. My love will not die for Ireland. Oh, in my
hard lies. It's tears in my eyes.
For
Ireland.
I know I'm screwing this up, but sure it's going I can. I saw her in vision. She haunted
in my dreams.
Her valleys and rivers.
Her oceans and streams. My love will not die. For Ireland. Oh, here in my heart lies. It's tears in my eyes.
For
Ireland.
The voice of my father, like an echo in time. As I grow older, these songs will be mine. My love will not die.
For Ireland.
Oh,
here in my heart lies. It is in my eyes.
For
Ireland.
Something like that anyway.
Paving stones, we have our standing stones, we have all these giants' graves and all to prove it. They were here this for 10,000 years at least, since the time of the Druids, and we are not going to give up that without a fight. And these rascals and racketeers from London and Dublin that wants money for acting the rascal, they can go and get money. They've got the North Sea oil, and where's that money? It went away to the bankers in England. And this money here will go to the, it'll not go, not one penny, we'll not get one bit of good out of the money. So our job now is to stand together. Don't let this happen. Where it's our job to stop them from wrecking our country, because they wreck our country. And I hear there's a man from Tamboran, I'm ashamed to say, in the security. Now I hear that. I don't know who it is, but I'd advise that poor man to go home and have it be decent enough. And do the decent job and do away with himself, because I wouldn't. I'd rather do that than cut me, than stab me neighbours in the back. Or if he takes a drink of water, if he gets away with this fracking and takes a drink of water, he'll finish himself off anyway.
Okay, well, we've had the next speakers, I'm sure. What's that? You want to speak? Go ahead, Richard.
The last speaker.
I was going to say something about fracking and this, that and the other, but really I think the only thing I really want to say is to the BBC. Okay?
Propaganda.
I'd like you to pan that camera around and look at the extremists, the activists, okay? The young, smelly, dirty extremists. Look at how many there are. Pan the camera around, Julian.
BBC
show the people that this is the community. This is the community. Put the camera around. And I asked you, Julian, to show that, because the BBC have been unbelievably biased in the way that you have, not necessarily you personally, Julian, but the BBC as a whole, unbelievably biased. Okay, so show that, show the people what has actually happened here today. Okay, this is the community speaking. This is the community, this isn't extremists. Okay, I'm a blow-in, I admit, I'm a blow-in, I can't help that, but I love this county. I love it. I love this county and I love the people in it. And that's why I choose to live here. And this will ruin my personal dream. And it will ruin everybody else's too. Thank you.